Welcome to Armchair Athletes. I'm the average size King Reno.
And I'm the slightly above average size Ed.
I'm actually just short, so I'm sorry for saying that. Before we talk about this, before we go into this, let's just discuss something. And I think we should have like a full video for this topic. The does the Memphis Grizzlies have the best jerseys like selection in NBA history? I know
Um,
Denver's up there.
that's something we'll definitely have to do a video over. Because I haven't done enough research into it. But I think these are like the Grizzly. This logo is the Grizzly logo that was like right after they went from Vancouver.
Yeah.
So it's like early.
This is kick ass, man. I love this.
I love it.
And I've seen a few vintage Grizzly jerseys. And what's the new one that they have? The new series for the whole league. It's like called Night in the City or something like
Yeah,
that.
like the City League or the City something. We'll
They
have to do a video over it for
they,
sure.
they name these jerseys like high schools name proms.
That's funny.
Man. Anyways, I'll stop talking about the kick-ass jersey look. It was pretty cool. This one's really neat, and they have a couple. I know, like for a fact, they have. I think Denver's really good.
I know Oklahoma City's are ass.
Oklahoma City's are bad. Indiana Pacers are pretty cool too, though.
We'll have to definitely take a look
We'll
at
have to look
our
into
season
it. There's
recap.
a lot of jerseys to look at. All right, let's carry on. It's my B.
All right. Welcome. Welcome to the Armchair
Hey
Athletes,
guys, what's
guys.
up?
I'm Ed.
And I'm Reno. We're gonna be talking about the Memphis Grizzlies. What we do last year, brother?
All right, man. Last year we went 34 and 39, and that was good for the ninth seed, and also was in the play-in game against Portland in the
It's not
bubble.
bad.
Not bad
That's
at
not
all.
that's not bad. Also, they were in the A seed for a long time. Uh, Damian Lillard just went off,
Yeah.
which Damian Lillard is the best player in those between those two teams. So,
Easily.
and for a rookie and John Morant to get their team in the playing tournament and also the eighth, seventh, eighth seed throughout the entire season, he's the rookie of the year. Obviously, he's like Westbrook with a jump shot. He's fantastic. I love watching John Morant. JJJ, Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. He's also fantastic. He's like a young Al Horford, but just taller and longer. He can do a little bit of everything. He's always in the right spot. He's a great passer. Jonas Valanciunas is someone I kind of want, and Dylan Brooks, those two guys are someone I kind of want to talk about. Valanciunas has shown that he is a high quality. He's kind of like Joseph Nurkic a little bit, but Valanciunas can shoot threes now. But him and Nurkic are basically the same player. They bully you down by the basket. Dylan Brooks became a fantastic 3-and-D guard. They got Justin Winslow in there. They got a lot of great young players in there. Brandon Clark is another rookie that they had last year that performed well. As a really good young team, this team's going to be exciting. I just think the West is so packed. I don't see them getting in.
Yeah. So let's
But
take a look at what they did over the offseason, Reno.
they didn't do a whole lot. They signed Mario Hazonia, which is a journeyman guard wing, and they re-signed DeAnthony Milton, who's also a young player who performed really well last year, especially defensively, which they needed help on that end anyways. Not a whole lot because Dylan Brooks and Ja weren't bad at all. But DeAnthony Melton's a really big help. They lost Josh Jackson, who was a first rounder for I think Sacramento a couple years ago. Uh, he's kind of a bust, so they're not going to miss him a whole lot.
So the Grizzlies drafted Desmond Bain, 6'6", 220-pound guard from TCU.
He's supposed to be a sleeper.
So let's talk a little bit about him. He's a sharpshooter. He shot 42% from three last year. Really solid off the dribble, creating his own shot from what I've read. But being that he is 22, he's pretty old, obviously, for NBA rookies standards. But being that he's 22, he's not only mature in mind, but also his body, which helped to the transition to the NBA a little bit quicker. And I mean, he'll be able to transition pretty quick. Being 220 pounds, go ahead.
these older players, like what you're saying, he's mature. I think they get a lot of slack, the players who are in college a lot longer, like Obi Toppin or Kyle Kuzma. These players are a lot more ready for the NBA. And so if you're a team that's looking to win now opposed to 3 years from now, these are the players you're looking for. This is a team that wants to compete now, not continue to get young capital and young assets. Granted, he's still a young asset, but I think this, and carry on with your uh what's we're looking for, and analysis of this guy. But he's gonna. I think I like him a lot.
So being 6'6", 220, he's a lot of strength. He uses that strength a lot around the basket to score. But he will struggle on defense because he is tall, but his wingspan is very short. He is 6'6", but his wingspan is only 6'4", so he's a very short wingspan, which is good for shooting, not that great for defense. His weakness, he's not very laterally quick. That's one of his biggest weaknesses coming out. He should be able to make a difference for the Grizzlies as a catch and shoot guy. Again, he can shoot. He shot 42%, I said. And it'll be interesting to see with him and Ja Morant together. I think Ja Morant will make him better, just because I think that's what Ja Morant does, which we'll talk about here more in a minute. But he really, really needs to make his defensive. He needs to improve on the defensive side if he wants to make it long in the league. His NBA comp is Courtney Lee.
Oh yeah, I see that. So there's a few, like whenever I watch college players, sometimes it's hard for me to find a player that they're comparable to, because I mean you can't do that to everybody, especially this scatterbrained mind of mine. But I like that. I see that. Desmond Bain to me, because anytime I ever watched him, he's a little slow defensively, guarding one-on-ones and stuff like that. So I think he'd be best if they push him down to the 3. They're a little bit slower on the wings. He's 6'6", and he's a pretty big boy. So if he can slide down to the 3 position, just be a shooter and get some boards, use the size to get some boards, I think he'd be fantastic. I like the Desmond Bain pick. I like that this guy was a sleeper. Many mock drafts have had him a little bit earlier to like contender teams, trading up for him and stuff like that. But trading up to get him. But no, I love that pick. I think the Memphis Grizzlies front office does a great job signing and drafting young talent.
So with that being said, Reno, let's kind of talk about the rotation they have put together for this year.
Ja, Dylan Brooks, Justice Winslow, Jaren Jackson, Jonas. I like it. The 4 Jays and Dylan, they're fantastic. Justice Winslow's a really good player. I see this guy because he has a pretty manageable contract at $13 million a year. So him and they extended Dylan Brooks. They have Ja, Jaren, and Jonas. I like this the starting lineup a lot, especially offensively. Justice Winslow is also an underrated passer. So they have a lot of passing, allows Ja Morant to get to the bucket a lot more. Tyus Jones, he's going to be their backup point guard for the next, I think, 4 years. D'Anthony Melton, Kyle Anderson, Brandon Clark. Kyle Anderson should just be a power forward now. He's always been too slow to guard anyone on the perimeter anyways. He's 6'10", and he's a really great passer. He's from San Antonio, drafted from San Antonio, and Pop loves him. He just didn't want to pay him. And Grayson Allen, journeys up for Grayson Allen. It's not a super deep team. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of faith in Tyus Jones. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Grayson Allen. I don't have a whole lot of faith in Kyle Anderson. This team is going to be predicated on how injury-free or COVID-free the starting lineup is, and Clark and Melton.
Yeah, I see Desmond coming off the bench and I think he'll probably get more minutes than most of these guys will. With him being 22 and being that more mature mind, I think they're going to want him out there, especially over Grayson Allen. I don't like Grayson Allen. I think he's a punk. I don't think he's going to be good in the NBA. I don't think he ever will be. He hasn't really been significant, honestly, had made significant minutes on a team, and I don't think that's going to change. I've never liked him. I like Brandon Clark a lot. I think he'll be good off the bench. Again, I agree with you with Kyle Anderson. Jonas Valanciunas was a stretch 5 before it was cool. He's been doing it forever back when he was on Toronto. And
Mhm.
I think he, as you said, makes a huge impact for this team, especially since everybody's really young. And then you have Jonas Valanciunas, who's pretty old, Brandon Clark. So I think they have a good mix of young and vets that I think can really come together and make it be really good. And I love John Morant. I mean, he's fun to watch, he really elevates his team, like I mentioned before.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I like this
cool.
team. Let's go to the vibe check, brother.
All right. Good.
So my vibes for this is I see a trade in my brain for a new power forward. The reason why I say that is because the way Al Horford played power forward at Florida when he was in college, he went to the center position when he went to the NBA, performed a lot better, has been a fantastic all-star, has been a great player. And so I think Jaren Jackson Jr. needs to do the same thing. I think if you put Jaren Jackson Jr. In charge of the back line of your defense, he's lengthy, he's strong, and he can still shoot and everything, stretch the floor a lot better than Giannis. Jonas and sorry, not Giannis. Giannis is on that, not on this team. But I like, and this is my idea. They need a player who can get his own shot at the power forward spot, and I think it's Tobias Harris. I think if they make a move for Tobias, they get a guy who could score on his own, shoot, get to the bucket, and Jaren Jackson Jr. and Brandon Clark can help him defensively near the rim, so he doesn't have to worry about that. But I don't think they have a lot of scorers other than Ja. They have a lot of rotational players who can shoot and they can score, but no one that can get their own shot other than Ja. So I think that's what they need. And I really like Tobias Harris over there, um, or something like that. Just a wing player who could play the 3 and the 4 and
So who do
perform a
they
little bit.
trade to make that happen? Because I don't see the Sixers wanting Jonas Valanciunas.
Well, maybe not Giannis, but you can trade because Tobias getting paid about 30 million, and you can trade Justice Winslow, um, and Tyus Jones, maybe a pick. They get some depth, another guard. Justice Winslow's a 2 and a 3, and he can play a little bit of 4. And they get another guard. I think that should match money. If not, you can throw in another player. But I think that'd be a really good pickup.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and move on to the 24-second shot clock. I've kind of given my opinion mostly on what I think is going to go on, so I'll just kind of predict what I think they're going to do. I see this Grizzlies team definitely being a playoff team. Now, whether that'll be sixth, seventh, eighth seed, I don't know. The Western Conference is so good; it's gonna be tough to see where everybody's gonna line up. But I could see them getting about 40 games, maybe even more. And honestly, that might probably more than that. I see them getting like 44, which could put them at like the low seed in the Western Conference.
Oh, so you think I ranked him a little low?
A little bit, yeah. I think they're a little low because I just really like John Morant. I see him growing a lot. Um, I like how this team played last year together, especially at the end there, and I could definitely see them picking up off of that and just growing. And I do see Desmond Bain coming in and making a difference. Maybe not a huge difference, but I see him coming in, especially off the bench if that's where he comes from. I think he's going to make a difference.
I don't. I think they're going to have the same record they did last year. I don't think they're going to improve only because they have one scorer, one playmaker. They have people who can pass well, but they're not exactly playmakers or create their own shot. And I think that's going to be their detriment. Whenever Ja hits the bench or gets like when they play teams like the Clippers or something like that, who has good perimeter defense, that they're going to really struggle because if you stop Ja, you stop that team. Now defensively, they're going to be a decent about mid-level defense team, but their offense starts and ends with Ja Morant. And when you're that young, I don't see your team performing that well.
All right. So that was our coverage of the Memphis Grizzlies. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I know we enjoyed doing these. So if you have any comments, suggestions, anything to the like, please let us know down in the comments. Again, leave a like, subscribe. We'd really love to have you continue watching our videos, and we enjoy making them for you guys. So with that being said, Reno, take us out.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Armchair Athletes with me, Reno.
I'm Ed.
And we talked about the Memphis Grizzlies. And now tune in next week for the Atlanta Hawks. Oops, accidentally gave it away. There you go. That's who we're talking about. Feel free to come and holler.
All right, guys. See you next time.
Bye.